I never thought I'd see the day where $100,000 isn't enough in this economy. That's what the news reported. That the average lower class American, they're considered lower class now if you make $100,000 a year. So if you make $100,000 a year or less, you're considered lower class. And the average person making $100,000 does not qualify to buy a home. And they possibly qualify to get on government assistance because it's just not enough in this economy. When did the American dollar start to go down? Because it's happening. The value of the American dollar has gone down substantially, and that's why the goalpost is being pushed, because as we're meeting these goals that was set, the standards that were set by our parents to get a job, go to college, we're meeting these goals, and it's still not enough.
You're sitting in your car in the parking lot of your apartment complex. The engine is off, but you haven't gone inside yet. In your hand is your phone, and on the screen is the direct deposit notification you've been waiting for all week. You do the mental math. It's a good month. Actually, it's a great month. You're on pace to earn $100,000 this year. You should be feeling relief. Instead, you're looking at the rent that just hit your account, the daycare charge that hasn't cleared yet, the credit card bill that seemed to grow in the dark, and you're quietly Googling side hustles for full-time workers while your neighbors walk past your window. If that scene feels painfully familiar, you are not alone, and you haven't failed. You've simply stepped into a reality that millions of Americans are living right now, often in silence, often in shame. We were told a six-figure income was the finish line, but for more and more people, it's starting to look like the starting block. So how did earning $100,000 a year in the United States go from being the gold standard of success to a number that can still leave you checking your account before payday? Why does it feel like you're running faster just to stay in the same place? And is this the new normal? Or are we approaching something more fragile? To understand what happened, we have to remember what that number used to signal. For decades, a six-figure salary meant you had arrived. It meant a home with a yard, a family vacation that didn't have to be put on a credit card, a real sense of forward momentum. It separated the struggling from the stable. But that line has blurred almost beyond recognition. What we're experiencing isn't just inflation. It's a slow-moving structural shift in the cost of a middle-class life that has quietly outpaced wages for decades. And it's finally hit the point where even what used to be a very high income no longer guarantees breathing room. Start with the most obvious pressure point: housing. The single biggest line item in any budget, and the one that has most radically rewritten the math of what enough actually means. The old rule of thumb says you shouldn't spend more than 30% of your gross income on housing. On $100,000, that gives you about $2,500 a month. In a lot of the country, that still rents you a decent apartment. But if you live anywhere the jobs that pay that salary are concentrated, that same amount gets you a one-bedroom, maybe two if you're lucky. It doesn't get you the house. It doesn't build equity. Now think about buying. The median home price in the United States has pushed past $400,000. In metro areas where six-figure jobs are common, the number is far higher. And with mortgage rates where they are now, the monthly payment on a typical home with taxes and insurance can easily cross $3,000. That is well over a third of your gross income and far more than half of your take-home pay after taxes, health insurance, and a modest retirement contribution. Earning $100,000, you're suddenly priced out of neighborhoods that a generation ago were entirely within reach for someone with your title, your education, your ambition. And that's where the psychological weight settles in. You're making more money than your parents ever did, yet you're living in less space, further from the city, still renting or stretching dangerously thin for a mortgage. The yard, the extra bedroom, the good school district start to feel like luxuries reserved for people with family help. That specific frustration of doing everything right and still staring at real estate listings like they're a cruel joke, have you felt it? That's not a personal shortcoming. It's the housing market telling you, loudly, that $100,000 isn't what it used to be. Housing is just the foundation. The cost of simply existing has eaten away at the rest. Let's talk about the expenses that didn't exist in the same form for previous generations. Health insurance. You likely pay several $100s in monthly premiums, and then you're still on the hook for a deductible that can run into 5 figures before you see real coverage. A single ER visit, a chronic diagnosis, a surgery you didn't plan for, these can turn a 6-figure income into a paycheck-to-paycheck scramble in a matter of months. Medical debt is no longer a problem of poverty. It's a hallmark of the insured middle class. Then there's childcare. In many states, full-time daycare for one child now exceeds the cost of in-state college tuition. For 2 kids, you could be spending over $3,000 a month. That's $36,000 a year after tax. On a $100,000 salary, you're bringing home maybe $65,000 to $70,000. Subtract childcare, and you're suddenly living on $30,000 to cover housing, food, transportation, and everything else. That math is brutal, and it's math millions of parents are doing in their heads every single month, wondering why they feel broke despite earning more than ever. Student loans are the third leg of this stool. The promise was that education would unlock the high-paying career. For many, that promise was kept, but at a cost that now lasts decades. The average monthly payment can be several $100s, and for plenty of people, it's $1,000 or more. That payment alone can be the difference between maxing out a retirement account and putting nothing away at all. It delays home buying, delays starting a family, delays any sense of forward movement. When that money leaves your account each month, 6 figures doesn't feel like abundance. It feels like you're still paying for a past decision that was supposed to set you free. Now add the subtle pressures nobody mentions. The cost of maintaining a professional life, the reliable car, the wardrobe that doesn't embarrass you on a video call, the phone and laptop that are basically non-negotiable. Then there's the spending that isn't really lifestyle creep. It's the baseline that keeps life functional. The occasional dinner out that preserves your friendships. The gym membership that saves your mental health. The streaming services. The takeout when you're too drained to cook. The small purchases that make a demanding job bearable. None of it is extravagant, but added up, it consumes the margin you thought a 6-figure salary would provide. There's another layer here, and it might be the most disorienting. The geography trap. $100,000 goes a long way in some parts of the country. You can own a beautiful home, save aggressively, and feel genuinely wealthy. But in the coastal cities and major metros where high-paying jobs are clustered, that same income is considered dangerously close to low income. In San Francisco, you can qualify for affordable housing programs earning just over $100,000 a year. Let that sink in. A 6-figure salary qualifies you for housing assistance in one of the richest cities in the world. The same number that once meant arrival is now means-tested as needing help. This creates a painful bind. The jobs that pay well are located where the cost of living is most punishing. Remote work has spread opportunity somewhat, but not evenly, and not for everyone. Many people are forced to choose between living where the income is high but consumed by housing, or moving somewhere affordable and taking a massive pay cut. Often the math doesn't work either way. You end up trapped in a system where your salary is almost entirely absorbed by the location required to earn it. Have you had that conversation with your partner, the "could we just move" talk, only to realize your entire life is anchored to a place that's slowly draining you? That's a heavy feeling, and it's more common than anyone admits. So what is this doing to us? Not just to our accounts, but to our sense of self, our mental health, our relationships. There's a profound and largely unspoken shame that comes with earning well and feeling behind. You don't feel allowed to complain because you know many people are surviving on far less. You feel ungrateful, yet the anxiety is real. You hide purchases, avoid money conversations with friends. Convince yourself you're the only one failing. This shame leads to isolation, and isolation makes everything worse. Financially, the conversation has fundamentally shifted. For previous generations, a high income meant you were building wealth. Now, for a huge number of people, it simply means you're keeping up with expenses while real wealth accumulates elsewhere. For those who own assets, who inherited, who bought property at the right moment. The feeling is no longer progress. It's a treadmill, and the faster you run, the more exhausted you get, while the scenery never changes. The economic data tells a cold story. Wages for the top quintile have risen, but the cost of housing, healthcare, and education has risen far faster. Productivity has soared, but the gains haven't translated into equal comfort or security. The American middle class, once defined by a set of achievable milestones, is being quietly redefined by constant financial precarity, even at income levels that sound impressive to the outside world. And still, people adapt. They make choices that would have felt unthinkable a generation ago. Roommates well into their 30s, delaying marriage or children not by choice but by necessity. Side hustles that aren't for fun money, but for survival. Tapping retirement accounts early to cover emergencies, knowing it's a terrible long-term move, but having no other option. These aren't outliers. These are the quiet norms of a generation earning good money and still feeling poor. Financial advisors across the country are having a new kind of conversation. The old rule books are obsolete. Someone walking into a consultation with $100,000 in salary is often more stressed than a client earning $60,000 a decade ago, because our expectations haven't caught up with reality. We are measuring ourselves against a yardstick calibrated in the 1990s. Our parents' version of 100,000 is not our version. Accepting that, grieving that, is a real emotional process. There's a psychological effect at play here too, the arrival fallacy. It's the belief that once you hit a certain goal, you'll be happy, you'll be secure, you'll be done. For so many, that goal was the six-figure income. They told themselves, once I get there, everything will fall into place. And when it didn't, the disappointment was devastating. You don't just question your finances. You question your entire trajectory. Was it worth it? The degree, the debt, the 60-hour weeks, the missed moments? If the reward is just a one-bedroom apartment and a low-grade panic attack that never leaves, so where does that leave us? Is this the new normal? The uncomfortable answer is that for the foreseeable future, yes, $100,000 does not buy what it used to, and the goalposts have moved further than we've wanted to admit. But acknowledging that is the first step toward a healthier conversation. It allows us to stop pretending, to stop silently comparing ourselves to an impossible standard, to start asking better questions, not just of ourselves, but of the systems we live in. Because this isn't just a story of individual struggle. It's a story of a country where the social contract has frayed, where the basic pillars of a secure life, housing, health, education, retirement, have been financialized to an extreme degree, turning necessities into privileges. $100,000 shouldn't feel like a trap. It should feel like a launch pad. The fact that it doesn't is not a failure of effort. It's a failure of a broader system that has allowed the cost of a decent life to detach from what even the hardest working people can earn. Now I want to hear from you. because these conversations only matter if we have them honestly and together. Have you felt this shift? Is $100,000 still a meaningful benchmark where you live? Or has it become just another number that sounds better than it lives? What expense surprised you most as your income grew? And what, if anything, has given you some relief? Maybe you moved. Maybe you changed your whole approach. Maybe you're still figuring it out. Whatever it is, share it in the comments. People need to know they aren't alone in this. The silence around earning well but feeling broke is one of the heaviest burdens to carry. And if this video resonated, if it put words to something you've been feeling, then it matters that more people see it. Hit like, it genuinely helps. Subscribe for more deep dives into the economic realities shaping our daily lives. Share this with someone who needs to know they didn't do anything wrong. They just ran into a math problem that no amount of budgeting can fully solve. Thanks for being here. I'll see you in the next one.